Folks, welcome here to Ringside Ribs by Andres Cortez, and I'm just gonna jump into it. Halloween Havoc is the best time in WWE because they really go all out, and it's a shame that we have to see it until NXT. I mean, I'm talking about the opportunities that could have been built with the actual WWE roster and how they're not going in through it. Now, we got to see the Hardy Boys actually come back in here, and it was a spectacular thing. If you ever missed out on the whole spectacular era of the Hardys, this would have been a thing for you. We had Brother Nero, we had Broken Matt Hardy, we had Delete, we had everything. And man, oh man, did I wish that they would have given the opportunity and the win, of course, to the Hardys. Now, if you didn't watch it, I'll be telling you everything. I'll be breaking it down because of the booking ways. They want to make the Dark State a great stable, right? They wanted to show that they have this extreme thing going on for them, and that's exactly what they planned on doing. Of course, they had to drop the belts. They picked up the belts again, and now they're looking stronger than ever because they're part of this new hardcore era. They're part of this new division. They can do whatever it takes to win. They're not just all about muscle and gaining up on you with ruthless aggression. They've shown that they have some type of aerial attack, some type of new showing, some type of thing that they can definitely build up on. They're again your NXT champions, and we're facing off against what will happen in NXT. I mean, right now it seems like creative is just continuing to evolve, continuing to show us things that they just haven't shown us before, and that's what we see in Shawn Michaels. What we got to see, of course, in SmackDown is just pretty much a bunch of new things, and I feel like there's a bunch of new entities, and that's great. It's refreshing. Elijah Dragunov's being the United States title holder. Of course, he's being the champion. We have the new MFTs, the face paint, the scariness. They're actually building up them for them to be some type of contender, some type of actual person that they can be defiant. And now we have this wild card in the sense that maybe, oh maybe, we can be seeing Cody Rhodes lose the title. Yeah, I'm talking about Cody Rhodes losing the WWE title against Drew McIntyre. He's been holding on to that title, and for whatever it takes, whatever you may believe, he could be, for instance, dropping on that title and not carrying it on anymore. We want to be seeing something that will shock us, and we know the stats. They told us before, yes, main event, you haven't lost any titles. We haven't really seen any title changes. Cody Rhodes, he's the talk of the town. Why would someone want to tune in? Well, we have Drew McIntyre, someone who's been putting in the work, someone who should have won. The people wanted to win at one point. Now we have this new saying, could they be making a shocker? Because think about it, folks, WWE has left, has gone over to Netflix, correct? They are no longer on Peacock. This is all for that United States audience. If you're paying attention, they want to retain those Peacock viewers. Go over to ESPN, go over to Netflix, go over to new contracts. Well, how are they going to do it? They're going to make sure that they stay biting their nails. They're going to make sure that they're going to stay in the tip of their toes and making sure that they are right there. Now, what could they do? Well, they could be making some type of title change, some type of self-deprecation and self-motivation where we get to see some type of new sense of SmackDown. Well, if Drew McIntyre becomes the champion, if we were to see Cody Rhodes lose the title, yeah, a bunch of people are going to be tuning in. They're going to be mad. They're going to be not happy. Those are the majority. WWE fans, wrestling fans, hardcore people are going to actually be applauding Drew McIntyre. They're going to be giving him his props. They're going to be actually supplying him. As being mentioned, we come from the start. We make sure that the things that could be happening with Drew McIntyre, that the way that the things are being faced off, Cody Rhodes could be losing that title. Cody Rhodes could be facing off in something else. Cody Rhodes could be pretty much involved in a new storyline because it wouldn't make sense that Cody Rhodes doesn't get the title. It wouldn't make sense that Cody Rhodes continues to carry on a title with War Games coming up, with Royal Rumble coming up, with everything that is to be that new year, that new explosion. November is right around the corner. We're going to see War Games. We're going to see pretty much WWE is building it up to be something new, something generic, something that they can say they're right on top, right on the showing. They're putting in all emotion. They're making it one of the bigger PLEs. Yes, you gotta watch Saturday night's main event. You gotta watch War Games, and you gotta watch everything. Why? Well, because they got everything building up. They got the show running. They got Randy Orton not announcing that he's going off for that title run. They got, of course, AJ Styles announcing that he's gonna retire. John Cena with the retirement. Cody Rhodes dropping the title, and that would be the story. That would be why Drew McIntyre continues to build himself up. Why would it be that they need a new change? Why is it that the WWE isn't making the changes that they need? Why is it that NXT's Halloween Havoc had bigger and better impact? At the same time, we got to see so many other things, so many different options. We got to see a new champion doing that to what they understand and what they don't understand. Are they doing that to who could it be that Shawn Michaels created this new idea? Who could it be that he continues to make plans and make sure we understand where it's all coming from and how it all lands and how it's all being understood and where the connections are? That's why people are judging Triple H right now. That's why they're not happy with the mentality that he has, and that's why they don't really understand. Why wouldn't they? Because at the same time, we're looking at new champions in NXT, and that's why we want to see new champions at Saturday night's main event, because if not, it's just such a waste of time. It's just not a pain in the ass that it doesn't make sense why Triple H is just so afraid to pull the trigger, so afraid to make changes, so afraid to actually get behind the superstars that we want to see, that we want to make sure. Because right now, NXT had a great time. Halloween Havoc was the main thing. Halloween Havoc had all these title changes, and if you want to say it or not, it had the real deal, and it was all over, and it was entertaining. It had the whole Dia de los Muertos match. It had everything with every single type of stipulation on it, but it just comes to show it from the beginning with Mystery One. Of course, we had La Parca. We had just a elimination of everything building up, and it was just real entertaining out to the start. It's a rough one. It's a hard one to say, because there were so many good moments that we got to see in what we saw Halloween Havoc. Of course, it was good for the women's division. It continues to grow. The calling now, getting that opportunity. Maybe Sean Spears by himself wasn't the right choice. Now he has this whole group. Now we're behind Tatum Paxley. It's kind of entertaining. It's kind of something, not something that was on my bingo card, if you want to say, but it was something that was definitely game changing. It's something that we are now studying. It's something that is on our hands. It's something that is what made Halloween Havoc entertaining. Ethan Page against El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. We had JC James against Tatum Paxley. We had the Broken Hardy Boys against, of course, Dark State. And of course, we had Ricky Saints against Trick Williams. And for much what we want to say, every single match was pretty much real good. Comparing it to what we saw on SmackDown, unfortunately, no matter what, we continue to see building and building up. But let me give you an example, okay? We have Elijah Dragunov saying, okay, I want to do what Sami Zayn's doing. I want to continue to do that United States Open Challenge. And it's good. It's good for business. It's good for whatever you want to state it. It's good for getting us here going and pumped up. We have pretty much a title every Friday, and that's going to be good. But at the same time, we got other things like a sloppy finish per se, like Aleister Black not really putting on that. We have this new persona of Selena Vega, and I get it, they're husband and wife, they're doing the necessary evil, but come on, I mean, at the same time, what are we really building up to? Where is this character of Aleister Black going for? It's like Mello, it's like The Miz, it's like all these people lost in limbo and not really understanding where they're coming or going to. Now, we got, of course, the MFTs looking like badasses. We got them actually entertaining. We got this new persona, and it's just a matter of fact. It was just a matter of fact until they actually started to respect Solo Sikoa again. It was just a matter of fact until we started to see a bit of something different, a bit of something unique, a bit of something more entertaining, a bit of something that made more sense for someone that used to be the enforcer for the tribal chief, someone that used to be the main guy, someone who used to be the one who used to control it all. And now he wants it all. He wants it all again for his family. He's gonna see the fruits and vegetables and everything in between because he has to get it all back. Solo Sikoa has really made an impact in WWE, no matter what you want to say or not, but he deserves more. He deserves a bit more. He deserves that respect. He deserves to be at least a world heavyweight champion, and that's what we say about a bunch of people at the WWE. But it's like, come on, why not give the opportunity to the people that are actually paying off? Why not get behind the opportunity, behind the people that are actually showing us what we want? Why not understand where they're coming from, what we're doing, and how we're talking about? But something I already missed out that I'm looking at right here, right below me, is the whole change of Jada Cargill doing her heel turn, making her whole badass routine on how she's gonna beat up Tiffany Stratton, because at first they were respectful, they were shaking hands, they were like, I respect you, I really adore you, you're a good person. But now Jada Cargill was like, dude, I want my title shot, I want my revenge, I want it all. I want to tell you that I need to make sure that I'm coming here for the stakes, I'm coming here for everything that you came for. And it's just that we want to make sure that we're looking at the facts, we want to make sure that we're riffing, we're biffing, we're came in the can, and that's what it all comes down to be. Why can't it all come down for the state of mind that NXT was just a great experience? NXT was just a real high class of demands, really a good experience for what we got to see, and it was just something that is something reminiscent of us being wrestling fans, of us having these exciting moments, of us going over things like the Broken Hearties, of us going over the Iguana, and of course La Parca, with of course giving the opportunity to the young man. It was pretty much Hall of Famers for Mexico, and pretty much young up and coming new stars in the WWE culture, and it was just a great match. All these matches pretty much lasted forever, but I don't mean it in a bad sense. It was in a good sense. We got to see a bunch of these matches, and they were good. They were interesting. They were really entertaining. They were really what we're solid all about and all machine. It was a great experience. It was a great reliability. It was a great thought, and we got to see a bunch of spots, maybe a bit choppy in the end, maybe a bit like it should have been the bounciness, and then Iguana jumping, and that seemed kind of strange, and then La Parca waiting right there on the corner. That was pretty hilarious. La Parca was right there on the edge waiting for the kick out, and you know, it just comes to be. I mean, these people pretty much, you gotta think about, you got a week or maybe more, but you gotta train, you gotta stay in things, you know. Then we had Ethan Page against Dr. Wagner Jr. and the mask of being ripped off. I mean, come on. If you weren't really adoring that, if you weren't really respecting that, that's what I mean. How impactful Halloween Havoc was really compared to pretty much the gimmicks that they put in. We didn't see any Chucky dolls. We didn't see any Michael Myers. We didn't see any people popping up, any celebrities. They weren't needed at the time. We got to see spots. We got to see these type of things play out, and they were beautiful. These matches were well respected, and it was actually really entertaining to say. We got to see the incredibleness of what was to come, and it comes to show two different bookers, two different mentalities, two different experiences that you're seeing. So anybody missing out, know that the Halloween HAVOC experience compared to what you're seeing on WWE SmackDown, on Raw, what you might be seeing on Saturday Night's Main Event, they're not ready to be pulling the trigger just like this. They're not ready to make changes. They're not ready to be putting on storylines where we got some Zarya taking over and taking care more of Soruka than taking care of her title. So Blake Monroe gets that title opportunity. So she gets to be the champion. So she is now that new superstar. And it comes to be that we are showing how tiny title changes just happen, how many things we've really seen, and how improvement in the superstarness, and they're making these new brands. So what does that mean? Are we going to see these superstars, some of them being called up to the WWE? Who are we going to be checking out? Who are we going to be following? Who are we going to be here looking for and understanding what they got coming for? I mean, the Hardys, well-respected match, everything entertaining, everything well done, and that's what we're saying. The SmackDown, we better be seeing Drew McIntyre win that title. We better be seeing some type of changes being made, some type of sacrifices being taken, some type of things that make it make sense, because War Games is a big event. War Games needs to make sense. War Games needs to be entertaining, and it needs to understand what it will be all about. So at the same time, we gotta understand, what are we gonna be watching in War Games? What exactly is War Games? What will be? Who are the two families? Before, it used to make sense. It's gonna be the tribal chiefs. It's gonna be the tribal warriors. It's gonna be the people of those families. But are we gonna do it one more time about that? Is it gonna be the Alawalu family? Is it gonna be someone in between? Or will it be someone else? Will it be a new family? Will it be a new team? I was thinking at one point that it was going to be Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, but at that point, it has been destroyed. That idea has been taken away. Those paths has not been taken, and we are watching into what will be the actual future of the WWE. Where are we going in sense of the future? Where are we going in sense of the titles? Why aren't we paying attention to the tag team titles? They used to be all that with the Street Profits, and now, not to blame anyone, the Wyatt Six have been getting a lot of feedback that they're not as good as they used to be, and it's kind of daunting. It kind of makes sense. It's kind of there. It's kind of actually true, but why? Why is it they're not even featured? They're not defending. They're not being there. The United States title, Julia, why is she still holding on to the title? At what point is she gonna defend that title? At what point does it make sense that these titles are just being drinking and walked around? I mean, Becky Lynch, she had some rivalries against Lyra Valkyria, and then that dies out because they're too interested in putting Lyra with Bayley. Why are these titles losing so much value? Because Triple H doesn't know how to book. Triple H is taking this personally. Triple H is not understanding what it should be. Look at what Shawn Michaels did with Halloween Havoc, and now let's take a look at what's happening in War Games. Let's take a look into what we'll be seeing, what we can be thinking about these predictable match cards. I mean, where has Gunther been? Where is Gunther? I like that article because we haven't seen Gunther in a while. We haven't seen other superstars. They just disappear. We can say they're injured. We can say they're hurt. We can say that they need some things, but they don't. But they don't. But they need to build it up. But they need to do. So we're going to be paying close attention. We're going to be making sure that that is that, and that is true. And just thank you for understanding that the road to War Games is like, this is a different chapter. Like, this is something else. Like, this is something that we will be seeing on for the foreseeable future. Now, thank you for watching. We'll be back with some other videos, of course.